Hi everybody, Josh from Lucas Lighting, and today as promised we're going to talk about the BB09, the BB10, and we're going to install the 15 and the 17 into this housing. This is a Kia Sedona 2015 to 2018. This has the cap covers on the back, like this. Just take them out. Once you get them out, you can see that the actual bulb mount and the harness are one piece, and anytime you run into that, it's probably going to be H7 and you're probably going to need adapters. The only exception to that, of course, is the MX bulb. The MX bulb is the same size as the factory, so I can just put that in there. I don't need any adapters for that. But if you're using anything out of the L series or any other bulb that we make, you're definitely going to have to use adapters. So we'll show you how to do that right now. Okay, the very first thing you want to do is take these bulbs out and verify which mount you're going to need. And so this has the wider tab on that side and the narrower tab on that side. So that is actually a 17, and this one is definitely the 15. So we're gonna pull these bulbs out and then we're gonna prep our new bulbs to go in. Okay, we're gonna put these L3s into this Kia housing. We're gonna get rid of the 9 and 10 for now. I'll cover those in a minute. Right now we're going to have the 15 and 17. And so how we're gonna put those in is we're gonna rotate the collar until the keys line up, and then we can remove the collar, and then we're going to make sure that that indexed piece fits into that adapter like that. Actually, this one clicked in a little bit. We're going to push it in and turn it. Now on the 15, or sorry, on the 17, this bottom tab right here kind of gets in the way. So before I even do that, I'm going to take my flush cutters and cut that tab off. Okay, so we're going to put this back in, push it in. We're going to put the bulb through, and that bulb is ready to go in, and the harness is coming right out the bottom of that, so kind of perfect alignment there. And then the 15, same thing. We're just going to push the collar out. We're going to make sure the collar is lined up correctly into this adapter, push it in. Slide the bulb in through the back and make sure it's lined up correctly with the wire coming straight out the bottom. Okay, now we're going to install these into the housing. Okay, so I checked these out on the bench to make sure the bulbs are going to fit correctly, but when I install them, I always put the collar and the adapter in first. You can see that the feet are in, it's turned all the way clockwise. And the actual collar from our H7's in there nice and tight. And the same thing with the 15. So the 15 has thinner tabs on the top and thicker tabs on the bottom. So if you're trying to put a 15 in and it's not going in quite right, it's probably upside down. There is a little arrow on that. It usually is right side up. So once we get to this point, you can see that the keys on this guy are like that, and the keys on this guy are almost the same, a little bit off, but when we slide our bulb in, we want to just get it in, turn it, and once it's turned, we just want to make sure that that L is right side up on the L3s. The wire is usually coming straight out the bottom on that. And then same thing on this one, is we're just going to slide the bulb in, give it a nice turn, boom. So these guys are in and ready to go. The only other thing we've got to do is plug these into this like so, and then you want to tape that or secure that in any way that you can, because H7s are the most prone to becoming unplugged. So let's talk about the 009 and the 10 adapters now. We're just going to plug these in, tape them, put the caps back on, and we are all done. Okay, so that covers the 15 and 17 adapters on the Sedona. Now I want to talk about the 9 and 10. These are both the same thing essentially. The most common is the 9. The 10 is just an alternate angle of the same piece. So if you go to put your collar from your H7 on this, you slide it in. The bottom is very loose, right? So a lot of people have problems getting this in. You could try putting this in first and twisting it. but sometimes it's pretty tough. So one of our partners, Brian Sherwood, came up with this. And basically, you just take a high quality electric tape like Scotch Super 33. You can use Tempflex. If you're worried about heat, if you're really worried about heat, you can use like a Tessa tape, like a Tessa thermal. This stuff is rated for 200 degrees or 220 degrees. And our brightest light bulb, the L5, puts off about 136 degrees. So you're well within spec on this heat-wise, so I wouldn't really worry about it. But basically what you're going to do is you're going to wrap the collar of your H7 with tape. This is exactly 14 wraps with Super 33. So you know, exactly 14 wraps. When you're done wrapping it, you're going to take your flush cutters and just kind of run them along and cut this so it's nice and flush. And what that gives you is that gives you a nice tight fit. You can slide that in there, and if you look at the back, it's nice and tight. The tape isn't even touching the bulb itself really, it's just touching the collar. I would bet that this tape isn't seeing anything over maybe 120 degrees. So well within the heat spec. It's now very tight and nice, and you can put it in and turn it, and it's going to be nice and snug for you. So that's the answer. We definitely want to thank Brian Sherwood for sharing that tip with us, and look forward to next week. We're going to be at the Woofer Show in Chicago, and we'll have some highlights from there for you. Thanks for watching.